How's it going, everybody? So gearing up for the winter series here coming up in Florida. I'm excited about it. I've talked to the other track owners and I know they're excited about it, so hopefully we have some good turnouts for the series that we put together. We have a lot of questions coming in, and so I wanted to make a video to kind of answer some of the questions, also kind of go over some procedures and rules that maybe aren't necessarily in the rule book, but I think most of them are, but they're kind of all part of the questions. So we're going to try this out, and hopefully it helps some people out. But if you still have questions after this, still feel free to message me on the Chiefland RC Raceway Facebook page, and I'll answer as quickly as possible. So here we go. The Winter Series rules, define them. So this is my website right here. You guys don't see this part. This is the backside of my website. But so this is the front page here. If you scroll down, it gives you our address here at Chiefland RC Raceway. It's got the calendar here. Use this calendar as a tool. Like I've tried to put a lot into this, trying to get it working. So you click right here on the 14th. Anywhere where there's a blue dot, that means we're doing something, whether it's here at Chiefland or somewhere else. So click right there. You'll always see over here on the side, if it's on your phone, it's normally underneath the calendar, but on the computer, it's over here on the side. So if you click on the information right there, it'll actually take you to the information page. Date, this time right here, I don't ever put it the exact times. I always put it a general time. Like we'll be there before 1 setting up, but practice is going to start at 1. Our hopes is to get done with these races around 6:30, but I put 7 just kind of as could go that late, depending on how many entries we have. Cost, you have to put a cost in there. It won't let me put variables, but $20 for the first class, and then 5 for each additional. It's a little bit more than we normally charge. We normally charge the $10 for each class, and then 5 for each additional, but the extra $10 is going towards awards and stuff at the end of the season, and then the regular cost is going to each track owner. So each track is going to be making money off the entries on this, and then the series is just taking $10 from each entry to put towards awards at the end of the year. We will be doing top 3 awards, so excited about that. We've only been doing the first place person awards, so excited about adding top 3. Underneath that, you'll see location. So next week we're at Crossroads. It's got a picture of their track there. It's got their address. They don't have a website, but they got the Facebook page, so I put their Facebook page in there. Here's your organizer, Gary Steele. Again, the website over here, little photos, little pictures, and then first class, additional class, transponder, rental cars, all that stuff. 1 p.m. practice, 3 p.m. racing, yada, yada, yada. So I will have to update this right here. The order has changed a little bit, only because we added a few things. So I'm going to go through and change that here in the next day or two. So that'll change. I'll go over the order in a little bit, though, so don't worry about that. But anyway, so that's the calendar. If you go back to the home page right here, scroll down. Right here in the middle, I normally put whatever series we have going on, and then any special events that are coming up. So we have the Winter Nationals 400 coming up at our concrete track outdoors at Chiefland, and then the World 100 at Crossroads. You scroll down a little bit further, it takes you to our YouTube channel. We'll go over that a little bit more here in a minute, but it takes you to all the YouTube videos that's been uploaded to the Chiefland RC Raceway YouTube channel. So back to the rules. If you go to the Florida Winter Series, you'll click on that, and right here, series information, you can click there. It's got all the information. Schedule, it's got all the tracks we're going to and the dates. I tried to make just like a little simple, like nice little flyer for it. Right here, rule book. So you click on that right there, it'll take you to the rule book, and it is as up to date as I think it can be. Anything that we've changed here recently, I've left in red. So a lot of this stuff has been in the rule book since last series, since the summer series. So if we made any changes, we added it in red so that you can kind of see what the highlighted sections are with any of the changes. You also can go through here, and each class it'll tell you what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do in each class on the cars. So please use that to your advantage. Once we start the series, I'm hoping we don't have to make any changes to the rules or anything, but if we do, it will be highlighted in red, and it will be posted on the Chiefland RC Facebook page, and I'll share it with Peckerwood and with Crossroads and with Dr. Jellyfingers. So there's your rule book right there. So use that to find the rules. Series points, after each series points, I will update them on here. I will try and update them the day of, if not the day of, the next day. Yeah, so that's where you'll be able to find the points after each race to see where you are during the points series. Right here we have hotels. So if you click on hotels, I had somebody ask me this question today of, where are the hotels at? So in the metropolis of Chiefland, we don't have too many. We have a couple of hotels though, so if you click right here, it'll take you to the hotel page and you can pick. These are the 2 hotels we have. We also have some campgrounds, so if anybody has a camper and they want to come camp for the weekend, just hit me up on Facebook and I can give you some references for a couple of the campgrounds in town. But this weekend in particular, Crossroads. Crossroads in the middle of nowhere, so there's not really any hotels near them. So if you're coming from pretty much anywhere in Florida, Daytona, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Chiefland, below, you can stay at any of the hotels in Lake City. That's about a 50-minute drive to Jasper. Or there's one exit below the State Road 6 exit in Jasper. That is the White Springs Live Oak exit. And if you click on here, that's the hotel right there, America's Best Value. So that's your hotel you can stay if you want to stay. Coming from Georgia, Valdosta Lake Park area, they have a couple of hotel rooms at that exit right before you hit Florida, and that would be y'all's best bet coming from Georgia. So that takes care of the hotels right there. Daytona is Daytona, man. It's tourist capital of the world, I think, in my opinion. At least besides Disneyland, but besides Orlando. But Daytona has a ton of hotels. If you click there, it's just a link to like a Google search of hotels close to the track. So hopefully that'll help you out. McClinney, not very big, but there's a couple of hotels by the interstate. They're probably about 10, maybe 15 minutes from the track. So check those out if you guys are wanting to stay the night before or stay the night after. Don't know your plans, but it's there. It's there for you guys to search. So let's see. Another question I had is drops. So we're going to drop one race. If you can't make it to one race, you're not out of it because we are going to drop one race. So if you run all 6 of them, it'll be your worst race that drops. But if you can't make a race, you're not out of the points. We did try and space it out this time. Like in the past, we've just done consecutive weekends, and we were just trying to build stuff at that point. But I think we've got enough tracks and enough interest now to where we can kind of spread it out a little bit more. And it gives 3 to 4 weeks of everybody being able to race at your home track, and then all of us getting together once a month to race each other and see who's the best at the end of the season. Another question I have is where to drill the hole. So that's in regards to the rear end gear. So as long as it is accessible, like on the bottom of the rear end or even on the backside, that flat plate, if you want to drill the hole there, just make it big enough to where I can take a flashlight, look in there and see for all of the cars if they're either the white or gray gear or the midget is supposed to have a black gear in it. And then the unlimited class can have either. So the unlimited class, we don't care. You don't have to drill a hole for the unlimited because we don't care. It's unlimited. Let's see. So this wasn't really a question that I was asked, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. So practice, no more than 6 on the track at a time. Jasper's the biggest track we're racing on. It could probably handle more than 6, but we're going to try and keep it to the limit of cars that are going to be racing on the track. So no more than 6 at a time. We're going to do 5-minute intervals for the cars. So every 5 minutes we'll have the next class come up, and what we're going to do is 602s are probably going to have more than 6 cars. So any class that has more than 6 cars, we will give multiple 5-minute sessions in a block for the 602 cars. So don't think that just because you weren't the 6 that were on the track, we're not going to let you have that round of practice and skip over you. We are going to go in order, and we'll give, if it looks like there's going to be, 15 cars in the 602, then we'll give 3 5-minute sections. It'll be 15 minutes for the 602 class to get their practice time in. Let's see. I was asked how many heat races. So we're going to do 2 heats to decide the heats, or excuse me, we're going to have 2 heats to decide the feature races. We're doing it based off of points and placement. So if you finished first and third, and somebody else finishes third and first, the person that finishes third and first, they will trump the person that finished first and third, because the second race trumps the first race. So it'll be 4 points total for both of them, but because the 3 and the 1 was the second one, that will be bumped above the person that finished third. For the order, we're going to do kids, midget, sportsman, EDM, sprint car, 602 late model, UMP modified, super late model, and then unlimited. Now, when we get to, if we have a C main, we'll throw the C main out there, which we may have in 1 or 2 classes. For the B mains, we'll have those spread out. If we have like 2 B mains and no other B mains, and it looks like a lot of people are in the same, like we have 2 or 3 guys that are in both of those B mains, we may run 1 B main, the kids class, and then the next B main. But that we won't know until after we get all the entries in. Tire tech. So we don't use dope. Don't use anything on your tire. Use water, use Simple Green to clean them. Don't use anything on the tire that's going to make them swell. We are going to have templates that somebody that Gary works with made for us, and we really appreciate that. And we're going to use those templates based off of the millimeters that I have posted in the rule book. And if your tires don't fit through those templates, then you can't use those tires. We're not going to disqualify you for bringing illegal tires to us to check, or if whatever you've put on them have made them swell. No judgment as far as trying to clean them and you put them in the sun or something, they swell, but we're just not going to let you use the tires. So bring those tires to us off of the car. So before you even put your car on the track for practice, bring the tires over, let us tech them, and then you can put them on the car and be done. Now, if you think you may be changing a tire, if you want to bring a full set of regular tires and a full set of softs, that way you have options, bring all the tires you want. We'll put the paint pen on them, and we'll check them. If you were caught trying to put the same color paint pen marking on a tire that didn't go through tech, you will be disqualified for the day. You will be kicked out of the track. You'll be disqualified for the day. We want this to be fun, and we want it to be fair. So don't put anything on the tires. Don't swell the tires up, okay? That's what we're trying to get to. Tech and registration. We will do tech and registration starting at 1 p.m., which is when we will start practice. We are going to stop tech and we are going to stop registration 20 minutes before we start racing. So we start racing at 3 p.m. We will stop 20 minutes before we start so that we can get everything in order. So that means 2:40, you should have paid and be registered for your class. I know that I let some people slide and pay afterwards. I know that Gary does that sometimes, but for the series, we would like everybody to pay ahead of time. We would like everybody to get your cars teched and have that all done before 2:40. After 2:40, we will not accept any registration. That gives us 20 minutes to set up the heats and make sure everything is good. That gives me and whoever else is helping me do tech time to work on our cars for a few seconds to get maybe a couple of practice laps in, because we will do practice up until 2:50. So we will stop practice at 2:50 to give us 10 minutes to, if we need to sweep the track or if we need to do something, it gives us 10 minutes just of cushion to get ready so that we start at 3. We want to try and keep these races going, so 3 o'clock we're starting. That is the goal. With that being said, and trying to keep the show going, I said in a previous video that we were going to do calls, and we are going to do calls saying, hey, after the midget race is halfway done, sportsmen, you guys are up next, start getting ready. As soon as the midget class is done, sportsmen, you're on the track. And I said after that you get 30 seconds. Our goal is not to disqualify anybody. We are not looking for reasons to disqualify anybody. We are looking to keep the show going so that we can all get home at a decent hour, because we're racing on Sunday and this is supposed to be fun, and we want everybody to be able to get back at a decent hour for school or for work or whatever they have to do on Monday. It is at the discretion of whoever has the mic on. We're not going to sit there with a stopwatch and say 30 seconds is up, you're disqualified. We're going to sit there and we're going to look at the screen and we're going to be like, okay, like, you're taking a second. We'll call their name out, say, hey, we're waiting on you, need to hurry up and get to the track, okay? We're not going to give you a minute to get to the track. We're not going to wait a minute and a half for you to get to the track, okay? We're going to make a conscious effort in that 20 minutes of setting up the heats, and even though the heats are randomly drawn, if we see that there's somebody that's in one heat and there happens to be 2 heats of the next one, and they happen to have drawn the first heat, we will slide them into the second heat and slide somebody else in to the first heat. That way that you will not be running back-to-back races. With that being said, you also know the order. Kids, midget, sportsman, EDM, sport, sprint car, 602 late model, UMP, super, late model, and unlimited. That is the order. You need to plan accordingly on what classes you are racing. So if you don't think that you can run the midget and the sportsman late model class back-to-back, then don't try and run those back-to-back. We would like for you to run as many classes as you want, but just understand that we are going to try and keep the show going and not wait on people that are overheating their batteries or turn their battery on at the last second trying to charge it again. We're not waiting on that. That's what we're trying to eliminate. So moving on to the next thing. Box stock. I was asked about box stock late models. We do not have a box stock class in the series. That is one or two facilities in the state that runs that class. We do not have that class. So the box stock, more than likely what you'll be running is the sportsman class, the sportsman late model class, and just so you know, others are going to be running adjustable shocks. They'll be able to move the ESC and the receiver around wherever they want it within the roll cage. So it's not going to, you'll be racing against other people that are not box stock right out of the box. So that is your choice to run it stock or upgrade with whatever you want to within the rules that are in the rule book. The difference between sportsman late model and 602 is top 15 average time. So at Crossroads, 4.5 seconds. If you can run faster than 4.5 seconds for a top 15 average, that's going to put you in the 602 class. If you can't run that, then you need to run sportsman. Whatever class you start in at Crossroads is what class you're going to start in for the rest of the series. So if you start out in sportsman, you're going to run sportsman the entire series. Here at Chiefland, we are allowing people on regular race weekends to race either depending on how their car is doing, because there's some guys that they can run a 3.4 second here at my track, and that puts them under the 3.5 seconds to be in the 602 class. But then the next week their car just may be acting up and they can't get it, and they'll drop down to sportsman for that weekend because the best they can do is a 3.6, and that's fine. That's what we're doing here with my tracks. Other tracks, they'll have their own rules, so you'll just need to ask those guys what they're doing on non-Winter Series weekends. Cards need to be ready to race. And what I mean by that is if you're having problems with the controller, with the ESC, with anything like that, during the races, if you hit the inside wall and you don't have reverse, like you had an issue with reverse and you can't get it back up, we're not stopping. The only reason we're going to stop is if your car is upside down or if it's stuck in the wall, and whoever's calling the race has that discretion to stop it. With that being said, if there's a car that's stuck on the track because it got turned off or because the reverse isn't working and it's in the race line, it is up to whoever is calling the race at their discretion to yell stop to clear that car to make sure that nobody else gets in a wreck. They do not have to make that call. You as a driver could drive around them, but that is up to them. Please don't come yell at us whoever's running the computer about that kind of stuff. There's a million different things that we're watching and trying to regulate during these races, and we're going to try and do our best. But we're humans too, and we make mistakes. We don't always make the right call, but we will try our best. Let's see, ESC resets. So midgets, sprint cars, EDMs, if you could just come before the races, let us reset the ESC, make sure it's on the factory setting. Just bring your car with the hood off. We'll do a reset, put the hood back on right there in front of us. Obviously if you need to do something in the middle, in between races or in between heats and take the hood off, that's fine. We're really going to kind of keep an eye on different people's pits and see to make sure they're not resetting the ESCs in between heat races and features. With the late models, we're going to do random resets. So we may do it before a heat race. We will do it before the A main every time. So A main, bring your car, have it ready. We're going to have the car turned off, have your controller turned off. We turn the car on, we hold the button down, we let it reset, we let off of it, we turn it off, we turn it back on, and that is a factory reset. So then we'll have you turn your controller on, we will turn the battery onto the car, we'll make sure the steering is working, the gas and reverse is working, and then you can move on. But we will be resetting those. We don't want this to become an ESC, this guy can do a better punch out, this guy can do a drag brake better. We're trying to keep this about the driver being the best and being able to just set up the cars without the electronics playing a role for the newer people in the hobby. Live streaming. So some tracks we're going to have live streaming on YouTube. They will all be on the Chiefland RC Raceway YouTube page. But some tracks we don't have, the internet's not fast enough. So we'll record those races and then we will upload them as soon as we can within the next day or the day after. We'll have those on YouTube. So I actually have it pulled up right here. So Chiefland RC Raceway, if you go to YouTube and just search that right there, you should be able to find us. These are all the races that we've done in the past. You can go on, watch them, like the videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll get an alert every time we're loading a video or every time we're going live. So results will be on also the Chiefland Live RC on the website right here. If you go to results and video and you scroll down to right here, so right here we'll have it where it's live. So this will be what's on the track, like as we're going. Crossroads, we have a little bit of an issue with service sometimes, so this may not always work, but hopefully it will be fine with it. We should be fine at McClinney and in Daytona. But right here, if you go click this live results right there, it takes you to Live RC for the Chiefland RC Raceway page. Click on race results and you'll see qualifying rounds, the mains, even your practice times. If you click on practice, you can go and look at your practice times over here and see the different sessions and the practice times. But this right here, the race results, that's where you want to be. If you click the watch live, that's the same thing that was on our regular page over here. So yeah, right here, yeah, right there. So that's where that's at right there. So anyway, we hope everybody's excited as we are. Like I said, we've gone over a lot of things, me and the different track owners, trying to get all of this set up. We hope everybody's excited. And if you have any more questions after this video, feel free to Facebook message me on the Chiefland RC Raceway Facebook page. If you are friends with me on my personal Facebook page, that's awesome. But if you can keep all the questions on the Chiefland RC page, because it's getting super confusing at this point, like trying to answer questions on my personal, trying to answer that, trying to answer emails, trying to answer stuff for work. So just if you'll send them all to the Chiefland RC Raceway Facebook page, that would be awesome. Look forward to seeing everybody on Sunday. Everybody have safe travels, and we will see you then.